Remember, Victor, what we always say.
Yes.
Tip him.
We are seeing some funny business happening here, apparently. What is your purpose here?
You ever touch the big orb?
No?
Do you wanna get a lot of use of these in the war, Vector?
Yeah. Hey there. It's another episode of Sounds Like Adventure. Hey, it's me, Jack. How you going? The Lords of the Dance. We are back with part 2 of our very special short campaign, the Grand Library of Grish, DM'd by Jacob. So in the last episode, you met the Lords of the Dance as they started their quest to figure out what is happening inside the Grand Library of Grish. So after pretty much immediately getting derailed, we didn't make much progress by the end of the last session. You know, we wandered around, we accused a random orc of being the disturbance, we got a stern talking to from a bunch of golems. But now we think we're on the right track, and when we dive in, we're deciding our next move.
Perhaps rectifying the major stuff up in going back to this circle of people outside of this door, walking in and out, and maybe just stopping another one of them and just saying, "Hey, do you know about the disturbances? I just want to almost fix that missed opportunity that we had."
And you notice that they go, "Oh, you hear about the recent disturbances?"
Correct. That's correct.
Yeah. I wouldn't really trouble myself too much with them. Renthorn gets these ideas in his head. I don't really know why he put out the job.
But you haven't
The
seen anything
No,
odd?
Nah, the restriction section sort of always had its quirks. I don't know what's got him up in such a hissy.
So it's with the restricted section.
I assume so. It's always been a bit weird. I mean, you come into a place like this with so much magic, it's bound to be a little weird.
I walk up to that person who's talking,
Mm-hmm.
put my hand on their shoulder. Yeah, it is okay. You can tell us if you've seen anything, any disturbances whatsoever.
The person
collect that.
sort of like looks over his shoulder and he's like, "Is he okay?
Tell me.
Is that?
You can tell me.
I mean,
Embrace it. Just look into his eyes.
That's a 20 on persuasion.
I say, look, things happen in the restricted section all the time. I have been for as long as this library's been standing, as far as I know, anyway. So I don't know why Renthorn's up in such a fit. I don't understand why he even put the job out. It doesn't make sense.
It's like common knowledge that like the boss of the library put a job out.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows.
Seems like everyone's got kind of like a bit of a. They're not so into old mate. What was his name again?
Oh, Renthorn. He's been here. He's a little new to the library. He's only been here for a couple of years, as opposed to the previous head librarian who was here for about 340. But
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Good run.
yeah.
And what happened to the previous head of the library?
Oh, old age. Funnily enough, yeah.
Checks out.
Being about 900 years old, it sort of catches up to you, I think.
900
Yeah.
years old?
It's 600 where he wasn't the librarian.
I mean, it takes a long time to become a librarian.
How old are you?
I'm only like 40.
Are you a librarian?
It's like carrying a stack of books. I mean, I help out. I'm a bit of a scholar.
Do you aspire to be head of the library one day?
I mean, I'm a human. I'm only going to live to it. I'm halfway to the end of. I don't have the time to be head of the library. That sort of defaults, I guess.
Yeah, because you got like another 560 years before you can even start, based on what would happen to the other fella.
Yeah.
I
It's a
bet
bit
that fills you with
daunting,
rage,
hey.
doesn't it?
It's a bit, not rage. It's a bit daunting to really grasp the fact that they live so much longer than we do, don't they? It's a bit weird.
What kind of things are up in the restricted section?
I mean, I don't know. You hear some like sort of bumps and bangs from the door every now and then, and I mean, every now and then you'll hear something go off down there, but you can only get in with the head librarian's approval. So not a lot of people go in there. It's usually sort of like the archmages and things that come here seeking some study. They usually go down there for sometimes weeks at a time.
Well, thank you for the information. Hector, reward them with a dance.
I shall give you a dance.
It's
The
do I,
perfect way to stay young
Do-
is remember, Victor, what we always say.
Yes.
Remember,
You must never.
Stop.
believe in.
There it is. That's what we always say.
Perfect every time. I start dancing.
And then when
I
Hector,
give the
Hector
goose
wraps up,
chase.
perfectly. Tip him.
I never even said I wanted the dance.
Tip
It's
him.
customary.
21 on performance.
Okay,
Add a persuasion check.
you go on. Yep.
17.
They do what is eerily the same motion as the man at the front door and pat themselves down and then daintily hand a silver coin to Hector. And then they sort of sidle away out of view. And you see them sort of rush off off to another door, and away they go.
Are we near the door that the golems directed us towards?
Sure, why not?
All right, well, if not, we'll make our way to that door. And I think, like any good bouncer, leading the way, like hand out, even though I'm at everyone's shins, like creating a clear path for Hector to follow behind me.
Yeah, you notice that like people are seeing people like Hector and Vector walking through and are making way for them, but like Thimblebright perceives that they're making way because he's making to make way. That's what's happening there. So you get to a door. You open this door, and yet again, sort of similar to how when you came into the library, that just air changed. That sense of magic in the air and things like that. You walk into this room and it's sort of unnervingly alive. It feels like it's moving. It feels like it's always moving. The walls are sort of smoothish sandstone, etched with sort of arcane symbols, the same symbols that you've seen on the golems, you've seen on the door. And they seem to sort of pulsate a little bit, not visually, but you just sort of get that feeling from them. And they sort of shift slightly. So like as you sort of notice one and you go a bit towards it, it sort of shifts just a little bit away from you. It's almost like one of those hallways like that you see in movies when as you walk towards it, the room gets longer sort of thing. And the closer you get to the wall, the further the wall gets away. You can catch the wall and you do touch it and it is just smooth sandstone. But it seems like it is ever moving.
Arcana check to see if I understand what the hell is happening.
Sure.
This room has the boogie.
That's a 2.
It's a weird room, is what it is. Now, people are bustling in and out, and people seem to pay no heed to the ever-changing room. They seem to come in, there's some bookshelves that line some of these walls. They come in, they grab books, they put books on shelves, and walk out. There is like 1 or 2 people that aren't in the robes that seem like they're library goers. They seem like they're people that have come here to look, to study. And there's a couple of them sitting in chairs and things like that and reading. And you see them sort of fade a bit in and out of view as the walls shift and change and move and all those sorts of things. And like a shelf will come out from the wall and hide part of the room from view for you where you're standing and then shift back into the wall. And everything's just changing constantly.
This room is suspicious.
We go up to the non-library workers.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Just go up and... You getting a weird vibe from everything about this place?
You see him sort of like looks up and then like puts his finger in the book and closes the book and says, "Sorry, who are you?"
Oh, it's not about me, my good sir. Have you met the one, the only Vector? Give me his title.
Yep, sure. I know them all off the top of my head. Number 5. It's the Boogie Knight.
Wait, is that Oh, that's the dance guy. Oh, I've heard of you.
Yes, it is
You
me.
made appearances down in like Ethel Grove and stuff at some. Yeah,
Yes.
I've heard
Yes,
of
I have.
you. What are you doing here?
We are seeing some funny business happening here, apparently. And you don't seem to be dressed in the same robes as everyone else. What is your purpose here?
Oh, I mean, he like raises a book and it's a book on like a cleric spells and how to use them.
Ooh. Are they moving in the same way as everyone else?
The floor doesn't seem to shift. And he says, "Wait, you said weird vibes? Yeah, no. The room just sort of does. You'll find that like most of the rooms in this place, like that, there's so much magic in here, and you'll notice at this point that like he's got a tome at his side. He's obviously of some sort of magical class, and is a scholar of some sort of magic variety. And he's, yeah, no. The library just sort of does this. This is the first time here, I'm assuming."
Yep, and that
Yeah.
must be the issue. So thank you for solving the case, gentlemen. Let's go collect that gold.
Yes, thank you, my friend.
Reckon we're done, really? You really reckon we're done?
Well, Vector, I'm not hearing any better suggestions. So everyone seems to say everything's fine, and I tend to believe them.
Let us go to the restricted door.
Okay, it's a big jump. Let's veer
Someone-
away from the restricted door.
Can we just have a quick powwow for a second, you guys? A lot of those other guys seem to like move the same in this room. And did we get whether or not that this new guy is he also moving the same, or did he seem different?
Give me a perception or investigation.
All right.
I will note that he was sitting in a chair reading, so it's sort of hard to tell.
It's a 25.
Ooh, that's good. You'll notice that there's a couple of other people around the room that are in robes, sitting and reading as well, and they seem to be moving in a little bit of unison. They're not quite as coordinated as the people out in the hallway, but they are sort of like, quite often they'll turn the page at the same time. It's sort of like, almost like when you're sitting in traffic and you've got your blinker on and you're like, oh, I'm synced up with the guy in front of me. And then it goes slightly out of sync and you're like, oh, damn, not quite. Same sort of thing with their turning of the pages. It's like almost in sync, but not quite there.
I've got a plan.
With that perception check as well, Vector, you notice that sort of towards the back of the room, a wall shift to the side, and behind that wall, there is a floor that's sort of tiled with mosaics interlocking in like patterns and things like that. And they sort of shimmer faintly under the like cool light of this big floating crystal orb. It's probably about the size of Thimblebright. It's quite large. And it's just sort of suspended in midair, floating right at the center at the back of the room. And people just, yet again, seem to pay it a little bit of no heed.
It's a weird one. I got a theory as well, Thimblebright. What's your plan?
You go first, and then I'll see if we're on the same wavelength.
I've been noticing these people. They seem to say a lot of the same type of stuff, and they do the same type of stuff. So I was going to go over this guy and see if he also has a negative viewpoint around the head of the library to see if there's another thing. Because I'm starting to feel like this is all one guy pretending to be all these people is what I'm starting to think at the moment. Because you see how like when you got him to tip him before, and when you did the tip in the first room, he patted his chest in the same way, and then this next guy did the same thing.
Or is it the exact same wavelength? I was thinking we just take a silver from every person in the library, and we'll be up big.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Well, I will do yours first.
We could do both, right?
Good point.
All right. So can we go back to the guy we were talking to before?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Just pop over to him. It's just like, oh, hey, bud. We were just chatting before. You're chatting to Mr. Grande. And
Dancing dude, yeah.
yeah. It's just be careful. He's a very important man. So it's just you've been really helpful, and you're telling us about the weird stuff. You notice there's like a weird orb back there in the other room?
Yeah,
You
no,
see a
that
floating
wall
orb?
comes apart, and like that wall is there every now and then. I mean,
Does it ever do anything?
it floats and sort of glows. It's a magic
How
library.
often you come to the library?
Oh, I've been here for 2 or 3 days now, I think. I don't know.
Without leaving?
Yeah. Oh no, I go and stay in the town like of a night, but you sort of lose track of time while you're in here a bit. I think.
Yeah, true.
I
What
don't
do you
know.
think of the head of the library? What do you reckon that guy?
Oh, I've never met him per se. I've heard that.
You hear
I mean,
anything about him?
Yeah, he's been here a couple of years. I think the old one died or something. He's been here a couple of years. What are you guys here? You guys here to study as well? What brings you?
Yeah, just book. We like to book. You know what I mean? We book. You book. We all book is what I
Right.
say. So, yeah, okay, interesting.
There's these big statues. Well, I mean, they look like statues in the main foyer there. They're actually
we had it.
they're actually golems, and like they can direct you to certain places and stuff. If you ask them, they will. They will tell. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Always happy to help
Yeah,
out
okay,
newbies. Always happy to help out the newbies. Yeah.
It's newbies. Yeah, okay, cool.
You ever touched the big orb?
Mm.
No. I mean,
Do you want to?
really?
Do you wanna?
I kind of want to read my book. You've interrupted me twice now.
Yeah, but like books are good, but touching orbs, that's pretty.
It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. How about this?
Yeah.
You go in there, you
But then,
touch the orb,
I
Hector
mean-
gives you a little dance, you tip him afterwards, everybody wins.
I don't really want to see the dance. Sorry, man.
All right.
it's
Well, then
good,
hear no to
and,
the orb. So
it's good, and I've heard about it, but I don't really. It's just not my thing. You see, I don't
Man,
really.
we should get
dance.
out of here. This guy's just a loser,
I
eh?
was
Did
gonna
you say
say,
it is
Bad
not your
attitude.
thing?
No.
perhaps you haven't seen
Is
it.
there a table at him? Is he sitting at the table in front of him? Is there a
Sure, there's a table between a couple of the chairs. Little
Hector
table.
jumps on the table. He's kind of like, I will assure you that you are not interested. You are interested in this dance. That's a 14.
A 14. Ooh. Let me give him.
I mean,
I'm gonna give him a wisdom
Alright.
save against this. That's what I'm gonna do. Yet again, I'm gonna give him a +1. Beautiful.
Hit him.
He is enraptured, absolutely enraptured, by your dance on the table, and I think that a few people in the room, a few of the people that all sort of books are going on shelves and things like that. A few people stop and turn as you dance in the middle of the room.
How could they resist?
I just want to. How many people stop and look?
Say 3 or 4.
All right, let's say 4 plus 1. That's 5. Everybody who's made eye contact needs to tip.
Is that with your 17 persuasion?
I can do another one if we want to do.
No,
a
that's
fresh one.
fine. That's fine. No, I'm just asking. Yeah, that's what it's for. Beautiful. I'm doing this for all 4. 15. Yeah. Okay. All 4 of them do the same thing. They pat themselves down, take out a silver coin, and all step over and just daintily put it
If
onto the table.
If we talk to one of them, do the other ones look, or do they go about their business?
Go about their business. If you're directing
Okay.
conversation to one of them, the one seems to turn around. Yeah.
Cool. That beats what I was going to do. I was going to get Vector to hold me up and slap one and see if they'll react to getting slapped. But I don't think there's a need for that.
So yeah, you're standing in this room. A floating orb in the back that sort of shifts in and out of view as the walls move and shift. Man at a couple of just normal library goers, and then the rest are scholars of the library that are moving books and busybodying around.
We got to go to the orb, right?
Yes. Let's go to the dancing orb.
They go.
It's beautiful, like me.
Okay, you make your way to the orb. So you walk down the room. You take that first step off the sandstone polished floor to that mosaic tiled floor, and you take a couple steps into the room, and so that as you do, you notice that the mosaic tiles on the floor are in sort of celestial patterns. There's like stars, there's moons, there's comets, there's galaxies, and all that sort of stuff. And like as you do, yet again, these walls are ever shifting and moving and stuff like this. But this one patch of mosaic tile floor stays. It doesn't move. It doesn't shift. But all the and like there's points where the room that you just came from is sort of completely out of view, and you're like, oh, we may not be able to get back. And then like a couple of minutes later, the wall shifts again, and you can see everything again.
Touch the orb.
I would hesitate from you touching it, Hector. I will touch it on your behalf.
You're too kind, Thimblebright.
Touch the orb.
You touch the orb. You touch the orb, and as you do, there is a sort of faint glow that you see, Thimblebright, on the wall behind the orb of a doorway.
Oh.
But it just looks like the stone of the rest of these walls that are ever shifting and moving.
Can I pick up the orb?
No, it is the size of you and floating off the ground. It does not move.
I will walk towards where that doorway is and see if it's an illusion.
Do you touch it?
The doorway or the
doorway?
Yeah, absolutely.
As you touch it, you hear inside your head, paths shift, but truth is constant. Align the stars to unlock the way.
And I repeat that to Hector and Vector.
So you both know about this perceived doorway now.
Paths shift.
Align the stars.
Stars are usually up, so I look up to see if there's any stars above us.
You see shifting roof like the walls of polished sandstone.
Interesting.
So anyone can give me a perception or an investigation, and I can give you a bit of a
Perception.
I know a dance
Or-
called
or
the stars.
I will say, I will happily take a religion or arcana as well from Thimblebright.
Thank fuck.
I've got a 19 perception.
Oh, okay.
God, it's criminal how low my intelligence is. Religion is a 7.
Oof. All right, Hector. You notice that there's sort of constellations and stuff in the mosaic, and there's sort of there's larger pieces of mosaic that seem a tiny bit raised from the floor. There's a sun, a moon, a star, a comet, and finally a planet. But the rest of the mosaic is sort of like the night sky and just little cosmetics.
I try and move like the sun. See if I can move the mosaic.
On the floor?
Yeah.
I would say that as you go over to it and you tap it, you realize it presses in.
Oh.
So which one did you press?
The sun, I think, first.
The sun? Beautiful. It clicks into place.
Perhaps this is it. What is the order?
We're gonna push some stars. Is that what we're
That
doing?
seems like the vibe.
I would say that I would say that everyone can give me a religion or arcana at this point, having a bit more clued on to what is going on.
Got 0 on both of those, which doesn't make sense. But
You're a paladin!
I've got a 2.
Oh,
Hey, we got a dirty 20.
16 in arcana as well.
Okay. Vector, you sort of look at these symbols and you probably remember them from some book or from something that they... Oh, well, actually, arcana. You would recognize that with certain spells, they need to be done at certain times and things like that. And every now and then, some of the really, really powerful spells need to be done with certain alignments, with cosmic alignments. Starting with the sun and ending with the planet.
Oh.
So stupid, I don't understand.
So what?
Yeah.
So what were the things again,
Like I'm
Jacob?
dumb.
Okay.
What were the
Am I
things
dumb,
again, Jacob?
guys? I didn't realize until now.
Put it in the square hole.
So I turn to the guys and I be like, look, yeah, I know I said I don't really know a lot about magic before, but I can do a couple of spells, I know a few tricks. I just tell them what you just told me, which I understood.
Yeah, so you just know that the symbols often represent cosmic alignment. And you remember that what was said, or what came into Thimblebright's mind was path shift for the truth is constant, align the stars to unlock the way. And you press the sun, and the sun clicked in and stayed clicked in. You
Did we
would
see
know.
stars?
No, you don't see stars, but that mosaic piece on the floor, there is other mosaic pieces on the floor. There is a sun, a moon, a star, a comet, and a planet. And you would know, Vector, that it ends with planet.
A sun, a moon, a
It's a
star.
kid's puzzle and we're not going to solve it.
Hey,
Can I make a roll
Can you-
to
can you-
learn?
Sure, go
Jacob,
for it.
can you
know
can
what?
you pick up MS Paint and draw this for us so I can see it visually?
Hector's gonna try something.
Go for
Okay,
it.
good.
In this sequence, he's gonna go sun,
Mm-hmm.
star, comet,
Cool.
moon, planet.
You hit star second.
Yeah.
Yep. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
You're right, it's not
Alright.
star, boys.
14.
14. You definitely dance out of the way as a piece of the roof falls down, breaks apart, and then dissipates into dust. And then looking up, you notice the roof is still just polished, smooth sandstone.
You're right. Maybe I'll give it a try next. I'll do the sun. Is the sun still clicked? We have to as a reset fully.
Yes. Yep. So sun.
And then
Sun.
I'll do
Yeah, there's this.
comet.
Give me a dexterity saving throw. I'm
That's
realizing
it.
now that I haven't given enough clues properly to solve this very
We're
well.
gonna brute force this bad boy. Dex saving throw coming right up. That is a 13.
You managed to just roll out of the way.
Thank you for teaching me a couple of moves, Hector.
You are welcome, my friend.
So you know that planet is last. So there is a really
Good. There's 50% chance left, right?
there is
Let's go.
moon left and there is comet.
Can I?
We'll go.
Can I go do one?
We're just
so
brute
I,
forcing
so we
this.
all get a
We're
turn.
we're brute forcing this. Let's do it. Why not?
Okay, I'll press the moon.
It clicks into place.
Oh, I'll click the comet.
Give you a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, damn it.
It was
Damn it. That's a 14. We're fine.
Beautiful.
Shimmy out of the way.
Cool. Out of the way. So
Hector
now,
dances on the star, comet, and planet.
beautiful, and he does
That
that
order.
deftly. And as he does that wall that was shifting where that door glow happened while Thimblebright was touching the orb. Now Thimblebright was the only one who could see that when he was touching the orb. That wall stops moving. It stops shifting like the rest of the walls around it. And a door slowly sort of slides open.
Amazing.
Now, as the door slides open, there's just a little alcove, just with a little glowing pedestal there. Resting atop the pedestal is a scroll and a little etched compass.
Okay. What's on this? Tell me more about this compass. If I go up and look at the compass.
Beautiful. The compass is etched with runes. It is a very, it's almost like pocket watch style of, has like a little chain, sort of thing to attach.
What's- Do an Arcana check to see what school of magic these runes are.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Mine's +0, so it's pretty bad. It's a flat 10. Probably nothing.
No, but you would notice that the runes are the same as the ones on the door and on the golems.
Awesome.
That seems to be a runic language that the library uses.
Okay.
A language, you say? Can I cast comprehend languages?
Fantastic.
Go for it.
I cast comprehend languages.
You
It's all my things. So the somatic part is a dance. Guys, I will read you runes. Does this in front of the
look at
runes
him.
for a bit.
Look at him go.
As you do, you notice that the compass that has those runes etched into it do just say north, east, west, and south.
Can I get a spell slot back?
Nope. That's funny. Dude, I to be fair, I used Detect Good and Evil and got everyone's kind of neutral. So I think
Yeah.
both up the for spells.
I will say, with your perceptions and things like that, you would notice that the couple of library goers that aren't in the robes are like watching. They're going, oh, like something's happening over there, sort of thing. But all of the robed people are bustling and just as if this is normal.
Watching is in like sinisterly? Or
No,
like,
just
oh,
watching
that's
is in like,
curious.
holy shit, they actually did something in here. What the hell is that?
Cool.
Like,
Okay.
they're very
But no
shocked.
one else cares at all.
Nope. But yeah, so there's a scroll sitting on this little pedestal and that compass.
What's the scroll say?
You pick up the scroll and realize that it is a scroll of identify.
Let's
Well,
pick it up.
and
Add it to my inventory.
Do you want to use identify on the compass?
Oh,
Do you think the compass is magical there, Mr. Grande? Maybe we could. I could take a look. I did all right before on when I checked if something was magical. Is that okay?
you did.
Thank you, Mr. Grande. I'll take a look. That's I looked about a 17.
Beautiful.
A good.
Yeah, 17 does it for me. This is a compass of hidden paths. Once per day, this compass points to the nearest concealed or secret passage.
Oh wow! So we didn't need to use the identify spell. I was just able to figure it
You
out.
can figure that out. I'm happy for
Yeah,
you to figure that
nice.
out and keep that identify spell.
Always so
It's-
perspective.
I will
Vector.
say, it is not a complex magical item. It is a pretty common magical item.
Oh, I've seen these before. What do they do again? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Once per day, this compass points to the nearest concealed or secret passage, aiding you and it recharges on a long rest.
Get a lot of use of these in the war, Vector.
Yeah, you do it, and then you sort of like go in through enemy lines, and then you just slice and cut, and there's blood, and it's really full. Sorry, I always go into that part. But Mr. Grande, I just think about Mr. Grande's dancing, and it's all good. But yes, we did use them in the war, to answer your question.
Whenever I think about the fire, I think about Mr. Grande's dancing to get me out of that memory.
Thank God we found Mr. Grande. Who knows what we would be without
We're
him?
very different people, I'm
We'd
afraid.
be
Vector.
done. Thank you.
I would notice that
You're welcome.
I would say that you guys notice at this point that the clerk from the front door has entered the room behind you. So it's like the wall shift and everything. You see that the clerk that originally greeted you at the start of the library is in the room now and seems to be looking around.
The elephant man, Archie.
Hide the compass?
Yep, good call. Pocket it.
Pockets compass. Do you guys walk back into the room?
I think we moonwalk back into the room.
What's the order? Who goes first?
I'll always go first as a bouncer
Okay.
mentality.
Yep.
And I'm strutting second.
Beautiful.
It's like,
Um,
like a peacock.
Vector, as you step off the mosaic tiles, you hear very faint voice that emanates from the orb, and it says, "The library protects what must remain hidden. Tread carefully, for not all paths are meant to be walked."
Did you guys hear that?
No.
Just heard a voice say something magical. It was about the library.
I think you're having PTSD flashbacks, Victor. I don't know one else heard that.
But no. We never talked about libraries reverently in the war. We just burned all the books as much as possible. So we didn't do any of that. So that definitely wouldn't have been a flashback.
Don't bring up fire. You know how I feel about
sorry.
fire, Victor.
Sorry,
You get
Thimblebride.
a
I know.
quick
It's rough.
Hector dances out of
Do you
this
guys
one.
need a dance?
Yeah, it's just a quick
Yes,
one.
the quick one, please.
I'll do the quick dance. This is the dance of happy memories.
Oh.
That's a 19.
Beautiful.
Let us take inspiration for that, I reckon.
We'll grant ourselves inspiration.
Beautiful. You do
But
it.
yeah, I relay what I heard, basically.
Yeah.
to the crew.
To utter it more clearly, the library protects what must remain hidden. Tread carefully, for not all paths are meant to be walked.
Scary. And if we leave this little mosaic room, I guess Thimblebright will hold up the group, waiting to see if the guy from the front door is looking for us.
Yeah, I would say that as you walk off the mosaic tiles and you sort of enter the room a bit more, he sees you, perks up, and he'll waddle over pretty quickly.
You after another dance, my friend?
You can save your dances for later.
When we do the performance.
Yes.
Later is contractually binding.
There doesn't need to be dancing. Are
we should
you
do
guys
a-
actually adventurers? What
Yep.
what is?
Yeah, definitely. Mr. Grande, maybe we should do one of our 3-person catchphrases very quickly that we all know the answers to. I'll
yes,
start
of
this
course.
one first. Me first. So first, dance.
Dance.
Timberbright, like we practiced. Go.
Perfect every time. Like a well-oiled machine.
Brilliant. Does that convince you?
Head librarian, we'll see you now.
Mr. Renwood. Yes, let's go.
Renthorn.
Yes.
Renwood?
I can't.
We are on our
I
way.
can't express that enough.
Renthorn.
It's Renthorn.
Renthorn.
Is what it is. You understand?
Excuse me. Yes, excuse me. It's a quick question.
Anyone
You wouldn't
else?
happen to have a gold coin on you by any chance, do you?
No,
I need a gold coin right now. That about a silver.
I have already given you a silver. You will not be getting another. I don't care how much you dance.
Does everybody here carry silver?
I mean, I don't claim to know the personal belongings of each person in the library.
I'm going to inside check that and see if they do know what the positions are of everyone in the line. Is there something a little bit
Sure, whatever. Go for it. Roll an insight.
That's an 18.
You know full well that he does not know the personal possessions of everyone in the library.
I think he's telling the truth on this one.
I don't know.
Okay.
Uh,
Caress his cheek and go, lead the way.
okay. He says.
He's awesome.
You see him shudder a little bit. He shudders a little bit and says, "Look, I pointed you to the stairway when you first walked in. Would you like me to direct you again? I mean, you can just ask the golems outside. They will lead you there."
No, they're scary.
I'm not on speaking terms with the golems anymore.
You've been here for 20 minutes.
Yes, we found the disruption in the library. Tried to apprehend the criminal.
You found
responsible.
what did you? You found the disruption.
An orc called Mirtha.
Burnwood.
That's the one.
Burnwood. Bernard.
Coldwood, I think it was, actually.
Coldwood.
You mean
Birkenstocks.
Burnwin?
Yes, that's the one.
She's one of our budding intern scholars that is
The perfect crime, wouldn't you say?
Keep an eye on
She's
it.
currently assessing the alchemy lab. Where did you find
Of
her?
course she is.
I would
Yeah,
not trust her anywhere
Yeah.
near chemicals.
Where
We
did you
found
find
her-
her?
We found her walking exactly the same as everyone else.
What do you mean? That's not.
Everyone back there, they all walk all the same.
Look
Don't you think
around.
that's weird?
Have a look. Everybody walks the same.
He pokes his head back out the door and then like sort of steps back in and looks at you all and goes, "Huh, that's weird."
And everybody also pats themselves down to
That's
get the silver
no,
coin.
that's weird. We've
That's
already
what the
had
other-
this conversation before.
That's the other person said exactly that.
Exactly.
You know what? I think everything's perfectly fine. Let's go collect our gold.
What is
Can I
your
just
name?
ask
He says, "Can-
one quick question before we move on though
Sure.
and collect our well-earned gold because we've done such
I-
perfect work today.
Okay.
But what do you think of the head librarian? You were like, oh, you took the job.
yes,
why
no.
why'd
He
you
was.
take it?
He's a wonderful addition to the library. I mean, book sorting has gone up like 15% since he started, and it's only taken him 3 years. We went up 5 years in like 150. We went up like 5% in the 150 years of the last librarian.
That how you really feel?
That is, I mean, I don't know him personally, if that's what you're asking, but as far as a head librarian, he's been quite a benefit to the library.
Insight check.
Go for it.
Can I
That's
do one
only
as
a
well?
12. Yes, please do
12.
it as well.
Yeah, you think they're on the up and up.
22.
Thank you.
22.
You're very insightful.
You can see that he's a bit jealous. He wanted that job. He wanted that job.
But I noticed before you mentioned like you're like, oh, he gets these ideas in his head. There's no disturbances. Like, what was that?
No. Oh well, I mean,
What do you mean?
look,
What kind
I've
of
been.
ideas does he get in his
I
head?
myself have been to the library for quite some time,
Uh-huh.
and I mean, the whole time I've been here, the restricted section has always had things going on. That is part of why it's restricted. There is many things in there that aren't safe, and that is why they're in there.
I
As-
just
as-
completely missed my mouth and poured water all over myself.
Beautiful.
Session is getting hot.
He says, yes, the restricted section, look, it has things. I don't know that most people know this, but the library is not just housing books. We also house
Oh.
artifacts.
Song notes.
Some of the artifacts that come out of Ethel Grove do end up in the library. It is not our sole collection, but it is a piece of it.
Okay.
And they
We
all,
should-
So
We
those
should veer clear of the artifacts.
those
though, right?
artifacts come here because of them, and that is sometimes what affects the library. That room that you're in never moved about 200 years ago or so. That didn't move. It's just there's a lot of magic in here, especially in
How
the
old are you,
restricted
by the
section.
way?
Oh, I haven't kept track of my years in some time.
We're over 40.
Oh, well over 40, I can assure you.
Okay.
what is your name?
I name, because I definitely didn't forget it.
Ben, is it Benwin?
No, it is not. Where is it?
Is it Genwin?
Is it Darek?
Is it Dexter?
Denwin?
Are we just gonna guess until I get the bit that I needed up? It's actually Zedrin.
Yes.
I am Archivist Zedrin.
Zedran.
Yes,
It's a beautiful name.
thank you. I appreciate
That's a
it.
great compliment that you've just been paid, by the way.
And as I said, I appreciate it. Now,
Hey,
can
Ben.
you please? I don't like to keep Mr. Venthorn waiting. As you discovered when you're here, he's quite a busy man. Can we please go and see Mr. Renthorn?
Take us to this Threnthon.
As I said, I pointed you in the direction. You got to ask the columns. I
Yeah.
need to get back to my station.
And we have to get to ours.
Can I just ask one more question, actually? We probably should have asked this a little bit earlier in our whole quest here, but what is the disturbance?
Ah.
Well, I mean, Renthorn seems to think that there is a threat on the restricted section, a threat of someone trying to come and steal the artifacts out of the restricted section.
Okay, so we've been in the wrong place this whole time, hey?
Well, you won't get into the. That's why.
Is this the restricted section? Are we in the restricted section now?
No.
Is the restricted section where that magical glowing orb was?
No. Oh, you mean the thing in the back of
Yes.
the shifting room? No.
Is that an artifact?
No, that's just that's the civil. That's the civil engineering library. That's how. That's
The orb is a library.
What
no.
is
The
that
orb is in the room where the civil engineering books are kept.
Why is there an orb there?
Why?
Oh, we don't know.
Oh.
Like I said, the room never shifted before. It's
Okay,
it's
this
just
guy's
part of.
dumb,
I
guys.
think it has something to do with that orb, but that's not
Could
the
be.
problem we're trying to solve.
That is part of what I'm trying to explain to you, is that the artifacts in this library seem to affect the topography of the library quite drastically.
I've had an idea. We should go see this Renthorn now.
That's a good idea.
Yes,
Zedran, show us the
Done,
way.
as always.
a brilliant idea.
Show us the way, Zedran.
Come with me. You can see that he's like at the end of his rope, and he's like,
Lead us
"Come
to
with
the
me,"
door,
and he
please.
just like ushers you out of the door.
Yeah, we'll follow.
And as you guys walk out of the door, one of the golems sort of stomps up, and then gestures towards the staircase that Zedran pointed out when you first walked in. And Zedran goes, "I'm going back to my station. The golem will direct you." And he walks away.
And
Can
if
we
we need,
trust this
if we need you, your station is where?
At the front door where you saw me when you walked in. I let you in.
That's where I remember you from.
Is there a quicker way to get you somewhere?
No. There is many staff in this library.
Okay.
Go
Well,
and
just
see Mr.
shout your
Renthorn
name
and he
if we
will
need
help.
you.
I
Shout your
can't
names
guarantee that I will hear you, but you are more than welcome to. But as it is a library, I would ask you to keep your voice down and not shout if possible.
Then you should be able to hear us, right? Because it's so
Exactly.
quiet. There'll only be one person shouting.
You do bird calls.
There'll definitely be no one else doing bird calls.
He turns around and just walks away.
I will pray for you as I grab my little necklace of prayer beads in my neck.
As he's walking away, you do notice that after a couple of steps, he falls into step with everyone else.
You're doing it again, Zedran. You are walking like everyone else. Can you skip?
He turns around and sees everyone around him, and then sort of looks at his own feet and goes, "Huh, that's weird."
You
And
said
then
it
keeps
again.
walking.
Skip for me. Skip.
He doesn't pay attention to you, and he keeps walking.
That is weird.
That's a 33 on persuasion. That's a
Oh my god!
Plus 13.
You,
They
you
all-
see-
They all skip.
you see that he like takes a couple of steps, skips like once or twice, and then falls back into step with everyone else.
Do they all skip?
No,
Oh,
God.
thank you, Zedran.
and but he's now out of earshot. Well, I am going to say that
Let's
we
go
are
see
not
this head
talking
of
to
a lion.
Zedran anymore.
I feel like he is important.
The golem directs you. It points its arm towards a staircase quite a way down the main foyer. And as it does, you take your leave and make your way down. And as you sort of look around to make sure you're going the right way, there's another golem on the wall also pointing that direction. And it seems to be like a right down the hall is like a row of golems that are all sort of leading the way for you. And as you go past and like out of range of that golem, the hand drops and the next one's raised. You climb a swirling staircase that goes up probably about 2 flights. And as you do, you come to a door, not dissimilar to the front doors of the library. Quite large, big double doors, all rune etched. And a little plaque on the side that says, "The head librarian, Archibald Renthorn."
That's the
Archie,
correct. That's
we
the
are here.
correct entrance.
You open the doors to see Mr. Renthorn sitting behind a desk. He is quite a rare sight. He is a little bit stooped over. He's an elf that looks haggard and old and elderly, which is a rare sight to see an elderly elf. And he's sort of got even though he is a bit stooped and he's going on in age, he's commanding in his presence. He is someone with experience. But he's approachable. He seems friendly. He's quite tall, quite thin. And, yeah, nice silver hair, neatly tied back in a short braid, piercing hazel eyes. And those sorts of eyes that, as you can imagine with the age, seem to see more than what's in front of him. He always looks like he's looking into your soul. And just a nice pair of small, round spectacles on his nose. And he sees you all walk in and says, "Welcome."
So we've just walked into this room, right? Hector just pushed the doors open in quite a dramatic way.
Yep.
So I think Vector is like, Hector, let's do our intro catchphrase, our intro 3-part catchphrase that we all know how to do. You start this one, of course.
Yes, of course. I am Hector.
I'm Vector.
And I'm not the rhyming word.
And we are, all together,
The
Lords of the Dance.
And you know what? I think that is a great spot for us to call it.
Fantastic.
I actually think that's a brilliant spot for us to call it for this first session.